The story of Kwame Nkrumah. Kwame Nkrumah was a prominent Ghanaian politician and revolutionary, who led Ghana to independence from British colonial rule and became the country's first prime minister and later its first president. His life and work were pivotal in the Pan-African movement and the decolonization of Africa. Early life and education. Kwame Nkrumah was born on September 21, 1909, in Crowfell, a small village in the western region of the Gold Coast, now Ghana. He was born to Kofi Ngonloma and Elizabeth Nyanaba. His father was a goldsmith, while his mother came from a matrilineal family of the Anona clan. Nkrumah's early education was in a Catholic mission school in Hafasini. Recognizing his potential, his teachers encouraged him to pursue further studies. In 1925, he enrolled at the Prince of Wales College in Ochimota, Accra, where he trained as a teacher. After teaching briefly, Nkrumah decided to further his education abroad. In 1935, he traveled to the United States, where he attended Lincoln University in Pennsylvania. He graduated with a Bachelor of Arts in Economics and Sociology in 1939 and subsequently earned a Bachelor of Theology degree. Nkrumah's time in the U.S. profoundly influenced his political ideas. He was exposed to the teachings of Marcus Garvey, W.E.B. Du Bois, and other prominent figures in the Pan-African movement. Political awakening and activism. While in the United States, Nkrumah became deeply involved in political activism. He was elected president of the African Students' Organization of America and Canada. He later moved to the United Kingdom in 1945, where he continued his political activities. In London, he helped organize the Fifth Pan-African Congress, which was a significant step in the decolonization process. Return to Ghana and political rise. In 1947, Nkrumah returned to the Gold Coast at the invitation of the United Gold Coast Convention, UGCC, a political party advocating for self-governance. Initially serving as the UGCC's General Secretary, Nkrumah soon grew disillusioned with the party's moderate approach. In 1949, he broke away from the UGCC and formed the Convention People's Party, CPP, adopting a more radical stance and demanding immediate self-governance. Nkrumah's charismatic leadership and appeal to the masses quickly gained him a large following. His slogan "Self-Government Now" resonated widely, leading to increased pressure on the colonial authorities. Independence and leadership. In 1951, Nkrumah's CPP won a decisive victory in the Gold Coast's first general election. Although still imprisoned for his political activities, Nkrumah was released to form a government as leader of government business, a position that effectively made him the head of government. His administration focused on building infrastructure, promoting education, and fostering economic development. On March 6, 1957, the Gold Coast achieved independence and was renamed Ghana. Nkrumah became the first prime minister of the newly independent state, making Ghana the first African country to gain independence from colonial rule. In 1960, Ghana became a republic, and Nkrumah was elected its first president. Pan-Africanism and international influence. Nkrumah was a fervent Pan-Africanist, believing that the liberation of Africa could only be achieved through unity. He was instrumental in the founding of the Organization of African Unity, OAU, in 1963, which aimed to promote solidarity among African states and coordinate efforts to achieve decolonization. Nkrumah's vision extended beyond Africa. He advocated for a united Africa with a common government, economic system, and military. His internationalist perspective was evident in his support for various liberation movements across the continent and his strong stance against imperialism and neocolonialism. Domestic challenges and downfall. Despite his international acclaim, Nkrumah faced significant challenges at home. His government embarked on ambitious development projects, including the construction of the Akosombo Dam and various industrial enterprises. However, these projects strained the national budget and led to economic difficulties. Nkrumah's increasingly authoritarian tendencies, such as the passing of the Preventive Detention Act, which allowed for the imprisonment of political opponents without trial, and the declaration of Ghana as a one-party state, led to growing domestic opposition. On February 24, 1966, while Nkrumah was on a state visit to China and North Vietnam, his government was overthrown in a military coup. The new regime accused him of economic mismanagement and authoritarianism. Nkrumah lived the remainder of his life in exile, first in Guinea, where he was made honorary co-president by President Sékou Touré, and later in Romania. Legacy. Kwame Nkrumah died on April 27, 1972, in Bucharest, Romania. His legacy is complex. He is celebrated as a visionary leader who championed African independence and unity, but also criticized for his authoritarian rule and economic policies. Nonetheless, his contributions to the Pan-African movement and the struggle against colonialism remain a significant part of African history. Nkrumah's ideas and writings continue to inspire many across the continent and beyond. He is remembered as one of Africa's foremost leaders, whose impact on the course of African history is undeniable.